Hi guys, ciao a tutti, welcome back to my channel everybody. My name is Rebea Bailey and I make videos in Italy. I live in Italy, so I make videos, guys. As I said, welcome back to my channel and welcome to anybody that's new. In this video, I'm going to talk about food, but I want to talk about habits surrounding Italian food and some of the differences that maybe we have in the UK. And a lot of these things have come as a bit of a surprise to me, or they're just different things. Of course, you go to a different country, people have different habits on such and such. I've been here for a while, so a lot of these habits I've adjusted to. Some of them I find harder to adjust to. Some of them still make me laugh, and this point was more highlighted to me because I recently wrote this list down because my family came from the UK last week, and I noticed a lot of habits that they have and a lot of habits that maybe Italians have when we was having dinner, just big differences. And some of the things that I saw made me laugh, and some of the things that I saw my family's reaction to things, and I saw my boyfriend's reaction to things, and it was just very interesting. So I thought, okay, I have to do this video because it's just interesting, and I feel like if you live in Italy, you will definitely have picked up on some of these habits. I wouldn't say quirks, so I don't know what to call them. It's just the Italian way. So anyway, stay tuned to watch more. I'm going to break this video up into two parts. Why? Because I've got 37 points, guys. So I'll do it into two parts because I don't want this video to run on forever and ever. Okay, so point number one is stories behind foods, or the way the food was produced. It almost seems to me like Italians love to hear how something was produced and the story behind it, and they are happy to share that story with you of the way it was produced. The more unique it was produced, the more they are willing to tell you the story. So, for example, you might taste the same thing and you might feel, oh, it tastes the same. But for an Italian, the process, I think, makes the food taste tastier. So, for example, like an olive oil, or the olive oil came from Puglia. Puglia, it comes from a different region. Okay, that makes it more fancy. It comes from Puglia. It was filtered. It was picked. No, let's talk about this. It was picked in the sun at 12 a.m. Then it was brought into a dark room and left there for 12 hours. And then it was filtered through a special filter and it came through. And then it was transported here by air. They love a story. This is what I've noticed. Tell me if you've noticed it too. The same thing applies with cheeses, with this, with that, with everything. The process it's what it's about. It was tilted at the cheese was tilted at a 90-degree angle when it was draining, and I would taste the cheese and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's nice. To me, it tastes the same. It might taste the same, but maybe my palate is not as experienced. Who knows? All right. Seasonal produce. Seasonal produce is very important here, and you hear it a lot. Oh, is it in season? It's not in season. Season, not in season. My boyfriend, the strawberries out of season. Oh, it's coming to the end of season. It's not melon season, this season. And whereas I think in England, we have foods, there obviously is seasonal produce, but we can have oranges at this time, strawberries at this time, and I don't believe that there's that much focus on the seasons. Might be different for you, but just for me, that's what it was like. I went to the supermarket and I purchased whatever was there. I didn't think about the seasons. I think about the seasons now. Right, breakfast in bed. Breakfast in bed can be seen as like a treat, or it's always been seen as a treat when I was growing up. He gave me breakfast in bed. I had breakfast in bed, and Mother's Day, you give your mum breakfast in bed. But here, it's not really a thing. I even think that the idea of having breakfast in bed is probably a little bit cringe. I've tried to give my boyfriend breakfast in bed. I've never seen a man jump out of bed so fast. He's not interested in breakfast in bed, and I don't know anybody that's had anybody that practices having breakfast in bed. It's not really a thing, and it's definitely not something seen as a treat. Maybe if you're sick, you might have breakfast in bed, but that's probably about it. Or eat in bed. Period. Period. Right. So the next point, read ingredients. Like my point before when I was talking about the food stories, ingredients are very, 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 very important. Italians will read the ingredients and they want to know where the product was made, where it was produced, where it was produced, where it was made. They need to know all the details basically. Was it imported? Was it actually produced there? Was it made? No, is that the same thing? Produced there, made there. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, guys. They're very interested in the details and the ingredients. Quality over quantity. You'll find that Italians prefer to have something that's quality, something that's, maybe a little bit more expensive as opposed to something that costs less and maybe you get more of it. There's a big, even that applies to food. And I find also clothing, just generally throughout food, clothing, everything, quality over quantity. And that's not a bad thing. Next point, you can also, when you first come out, you can start to believe, or if you're dating maybe an Italian outside of Italy, which I did when I was in London, when I was in the UK, when I was in England, whatever. And I started just to think that this person was fussy. But now that I look back, if they're not fussy, they're just Italian. They're not fussy at all. It was just when they were in that setting, they seemed a little bit fussy. Oh, I don't want to eat this with this. I don't want to eat that with this. I don't want to eat this at this time. I don't want to do this. And I just thought in my mind, this person is absolutely fussy or a picky eater. But no, they're not picky eaters. They like what they like. Right, and this also goes on to the point of food combining rules. Italians think about, is the food going to combine well together? Is it going to curdle their stomach? Is it going to make their stomach hurt? Is it going to sit well with this food group? Is it going to sit well with that food group? So hence why the person can look fussy if you're not used to thinking about food combining rules. And, you may offer an Italian something and they might take a minute to think about it. And you're like, are you kidding me? Because they're thinking, they're thinking, if I'm going to eat, what I'm going to eat next, is this going to complement it? Right. The next point. Eat at the table always. I've mentioned this point before a few times, but they always eat at the table. And especially if you go to the parents' house or they're likely to have a tablecloth, spread the table, water, just a proper setup on the table. And if you have an Italian partner, expect that they are going to sit at the table, as opposed to maybe in the UK, you might be used to sitting on the sofa and eating. So that's something that was definitely going to go out of the window, or you're going to be doing it alone, that's for sure. I think my boyfriend has watched TV on the sofa and ate and watched TV on the sofa maybe twice since we've been together. And it was to watch motocross, GP, and to watch Formula One. And so there was an occasion, and he didn't eat with the plate on his lap like this. He had the coffee table in front of him, and he ate with the coffee table in front of him and on there. So still kind of in the same format, but he sat on the sofa. And that was the first time. I almost choked when I saw him doing it. So it's not very common at all to eat on the sofa. And this all also goes with pizza. Sometimes we in the UK, for example, you might have a pizza, and a pizza is seen as something you probably eat and watch a movie. Like you watch something on Netflix, or you order a film and you watch a pizza, and you just kind of like, what's the word? You just relax. Basically, having a pizza is associated with just vegging out, relaxing, no cares in the world, and you're eating your pizza on the sofa like this. No, no, it does. I haven't seen it really happen here. It's still at the table and the pizza's ate like that. They still eat it from the box, but just not on their lap or sitting on the sofa. Okay, next point that you will find is fruit after dinner. Italians, okay, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of the Italians that I've seen, they just eat fruit after dinner. I'm not sure if this is the best thing to do from things that I've heard and things that I've read. Like after you have a full meal, then to go and add fruit on top. Sometimes it just sits on top, but it happens here. Italians do it. Some Italians do it. May I ask? Do you do it? Are you Italian? Do you eat fruit after dinner? Let me know in the comment section below. Oh, and while we're at it, guys, please remember to like and subscribe. If you like my videos, please support me. Thank you. And this goes on to the next point. They like to peel everything with a knife. They get the knife and sit at the table, and they will peel their orange, they will peel their prune, peel the cherry. they like to peel everything here. I think it's just because they're very conscious about the pesticides and what goes into the food. So I think instinctively they want to take off the skin of a lot of fruits and stuff like that. Right. The next point leads on to barbecue sauce, right? Just any condiment, any type of sauces. Italians don't mix sauces with everything. They don't mix barbecue sauce, tomato sauce. I think it can just be even a bit of an insult if you was to pull out barbecue sauce and add it to maybe a rice dish or something like that. So my nephew came over the other day. My nephew's 11 years old, and when he came, he went to the fridge, took out the barbecue sauce, tomato sauce, and he squeezed it on the plate, and we was having pizza. We had a variety of pizzas. We had the gorgonzola and chipotle. Gorgonzola and onions, basically. And we had mozzarella and the buffalo pizza. We had a variety of pizzas, okay? So my nephew proceeds to squeeze the thing onto the plate, took the slice up and dipped it in, and was like this. And this whole time I was watching my boyfriend in the corner of my eye. I was watching his reaction, and his reaction was, and then he tried not to look. He tried not to look again, looking in the corner of his eyes. And then I just started to laugh so loud. And then he was like, no, you can't do that. No. And then we all started to laugh about it. Then we explained to them, like, Italians don't really mix this and mix that and mix this. But of course, my nephew, he can do what he wants. But, it was funny to see it. It was funny to see my boyfriend's natural reaction to it. All right, the next point is water with meals, nothing sweet. So Italian people like to drink water with their meals as opposed to a sweet drink like a Fanta or a Coke or something like that. Generally water. Of course, they would have wine, alcoholic beverage or something like that, like a wine with dinner. But when it comes to like a soft drink, you wouldn't see them drinking orange juice and having, a full dish of something, a full plate of pasta or fern or something like that, and they're having Coke, Fanta, something like that. Whereas where I'm from, it's possible to have a soft, sweet drink with that. But here it's strictly pretty much water. If it's different for you, let me know. Right, the next point is my boyfriend cooks 97% of the pasta dishes here. in our household, he cooks them. I don't think he trusts me, guys. He cooks them, and that's okay. That's okay with me. I think he just prefers to cook them. And sometimes it's like, I would be like, okay, Gangu, let me think. Maybe I'll make a pasta alfredo tonight. And then, all I need to do is put the water on. And then he's kind of see him in the kitchen. He'll get up from the sofa and that's it. It's a takeover. I don't even think that he consciously does it. I think it's a subconscious thing. He deals with the pasta in the house and the purchasing of the pasta, because to be honest with you, I don't think I would probably eat pasta maybe once every 2 weeks or something like that. I don't particularly eat pasta that much. Of course, now that I live here, I will probably eat once a week. Anyway, on to the next point. Let's move on to the next point. When cooking pasta for the first time in Italy, you will notice this, guys. If you meet somebody new, or if it's, an Italian, your Italian partner, you'll find that at the beginning, they will kind of like watch over you the first time you cook pasta. They want to see if you put salt in the water. They want to see if you boil it right. And again, they don't do it on purpose, but you notice that they stand over you to do it. I think this is maybe something they do with foreigners. I don't know. I think even if I was to have an Italian friend now, and I was to go to his or her house, I believe that they'll probably do the same thing. Not on purpose, it's just something that they do. They'll stand over you a little bit and they kind of like watch to see if you're going to put the salt in, to see if you're going to cook it right. I believe it's just their thing. Again, guys, if you've noticed this, let me know. They need to see if things are working right with their pasta. All right, so next point was coffee was one of my biggest shocks when I arrived in Italy, because I was used to going to maybe coffee shops and having a large coffee, maybe having my instant coffee at home and in a big cup, drinking it back and taking time and, drinking it. It's not like an espresso, having something very quick and just necking it back. To me, the pleasure's not there. It was like a ritual having a coffee, and it takes time. You sit with this coffee for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, blah, 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 blah. But then obviously when I came to Italy and I realized that, I was like to my boyfriend or whoever I was with at the time, friends or going out to a bar or something, I was like, okay, let's go. Do you want to go for a coffee? You want to go for a coffee? Okay, let's go for a coffee. Let's sit down and drink the coffee. It's not really the way that we do things here. We have an espresso, we drink it at the bar, bam, and go. Drink and go. That's the way we do it. It's not like something that you savor and you sit down for a long time with. It's different. And my family picked that up when they came here last week too. My boyfriend made them espresso and they really loved and enjoyed the espresso that he made for them. But they noticed the differences between the two. But my mum really, really, really liked the espresso that he made for her. Next point. They will leave wine. They will leave. So if you're sitting at a dinner table, for example, Italian people, they don't feel the need to finish the alcohol, don't feel the need to get drunk. They don't feel the need to overdo it. It's almost like drinking the wine is just something that is treasured a little bit, not abused. So there's no need to finish it. And, if you're from certain places, you will know that the attitude towards alcohol is a little bit different. And Italian people will move on from the wine, have their dessert, and then they don't go back. They might even leave some wine in the glass and they don't generally go back to finishing that wine after they've had their dessert. And then they might have their digestives, a limoncello or something like that to, after to, clear the palate, do all the good stuff. And that's it. Not necessarily go back to drinking that wine or finishing off that wine bottle or anything like that. This is what I find. This is what I found since living here. All right, the next point is, I've mentioned this point again somewhere, spending a long period of time at the dinner table. Food is savoured, and I think it's also about quality time around the table with family, talking and relaxing, and this is their way of relaxing. If you're from somewhere else, this might not be the case for you. It just might not be part of your daily routine, and you might find it hard if you come to live here, because, or it will take some adjusting, because the way that things are programmed in England, it's kind of like go, 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 and not savor the moment sometimes, I believe, not sit down, not actually taste your food and, you know, understand where your food is coming from, how it tastes, and then, you know, just those luxuries of life that we take for granted, sitting down and just being able to converse with family. So that happens a lot here. So you might not be used to maybe sitting around a dinner table for 45, 1 hour, depending on, it could be an occasion, it could even be longer. And doing that maybe twice a day, doing that at lunchtime and doing that at dinner time, if that's the structure that you have here. It can definitely happen if, for example, in August, when everyone is on holidays and families around, that can definitely happen. You can spend a lot of time around a dinner table. So that's definitely something different. And, you know, it's definitely a beautiful thing to do and to have. And it's something that I like a lot. Not only eating at the dinner table or at Christmas or Easter. Right, the next one. Talking about food while eating food. That goes back to my original point. Italian people will talk about food while eating food. Talk about, it tastes, the gustoso, tastes nice, doesn't taste, well, they never really say it doesn't taste nice, but the quality, where it comes from. They will talk about food while eating food, and you just get used to it. Eating at meal times. Italians, I find, like to eat at meal times. Dinner at dinner time. Breakfast at breakfast time, lunch at lunch time, and there's times for these meals in the day. So if you've come from maybe an environment or a country that's not so structured around dinner times, it's going to take some adjusting again, because I remember working. Lunch was an afterthought. I'm going to be honest, I seldom had lunch. Lunch was an afterthought. It was like, okay, and it was 15 minutes, get a sandwich and just boom, or eat at my desk, run and have a coffee. It was more like I was snacking throughout my days and having things throughout the day, as opposed to sitting down, being present in the moment and having my lunch or having even my dinner, you know. So you will notice that the Italians will have their breakfast at breakfast time, whenever they wake up, that might be. And then lunchtime generally tends to be any time from maybe 1, 2-ish. And then dinner time, 8, 8:30. That's how we do it here. All right. Snacks in the workplace. Okay, this follows on nicely. All right, guys, I'm going to leave this part of the video right here. Stay tuned for part 2. I will post that hopefully next. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you have any points or anything to say, remember to comment below. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. Ciao for now. Ciao.